The most important energy and the biggest guidance for you to be available and aware of and working with this week is this justice card energy. Now, this isn't just a check in on how you're acting in your day to day life, although that's part of it. This is really looking at your overarching life path here and reminding you to really be evaluating your choices as you go. In this justice card, sure, it's about balance, it's about weighing and measuring our choices. This figure in this card holds the sword of choice and the scales of reason and justice, and reminding you that you do have power of choice, power of how you show up, of who you behave as in any situation. And because this is a major arcana card, it's really asking you right now to kind of reassess your values and how you're showing up. And if there is something going on in the world or in your community that you've been kind of saying, oh, I don't want to pay attention to that, or I don't want to participate in that, it's time that we need everyone to be participating in their own way, in their own communities. So Spirit's really asking you to take accountability and responsibility for your choices and the choices that you're making going forward, and to be showing up as not just your most authentic self, but as your most evolved self. And you really have the ability to step into that truth and wisdom and almost like what's good for all right now here, because we're not just thinking about what's good for us in this moment, but we're also thinking about what's good for our family, for our community, for the future of our countries and cultures and world as a whole. And since if you're here, you are a sensitive soul, this is Spirit talking directly to you, because we do need to tune into each choice that we make from a higher perspective. It's not just about what do we have for lunch, right? But it's about which restaurants are we patronizing to send our money as a statement of our values, our belief, and as a choice that we are willing to stand behind and stand on business about. The rest of this week's reading has lots more to give us as far as guidance and heads up in the energy. So welcome to the weekly reading for August 21st through 28th. I'm Joyful Medium Joy Giovanni. I help people get clear messages and guidance from loved ones who've crossed over to the spirit world or from their own souls about their own lives. There's so much more energy for us to talk about in a day-to-day captain of your life kind of a way. This next card is King of Wands. Now, this can be someone outside of you. This could be a teacher or boss or mentor that's very passionate as a leader, that leads from a place of not only knowing their own mission or why, but knowing in a greater collective way. Let's just say if it's a boss, for example, or a principal of a school, what's the direction I'm steering this ship? Where am I taking people? How am I invoking or lighting up passion or inspiration in the people I'm leading? This could be someone outside of you, but this could also be you. So if you're being asked to step more into leadership positions, whether it's in your workplace or your friend group, or even in your family or your home or your own life, are you showing up inspired and with passion and really being able to shepherd yourself into this next phase? Because that's what's just around the corner, according to these cards. Let's go even deeper in. As a little bit of a heads up, we've got this Four of Wands, which sort of makes like a hoopah or a canopy for us to be under. Sometimes this card indicates weddings. Sometimes it indicates other types of parties or celebrations where we're going to be gathering with other people in an excited, celebratory, passionate way. So that could be popping up in your world. It could be kind of external to you, where a friend or coworker is getting invited to a party. It could be an announcement of a wedding that maybe you weren't expecting or might take you off guard. Remember who you are and how you're going to show up and your choices around it. Can you hold two energies at one time? Just like this Justice card. Sometimes the Justice card, that energy has to hold like that thing we want, and then the thing that's most in integrity or aligned for us. It's kind of a similar day-to-day way of that, where it's like, can you hold in your heart, for example, celebration for these people that are starting a next chapter of their life, while also being aware that maybe you've got some feelings about relationships in your lives that might get lit up or quote unquote triggered as part of this celebration. And how do you make your choices in a way that honors you, but in a way that is in alignment with who you are as a person. Because in this example, you have full capacity to celebrate others and be happy for others and process your own emotions. And that's another thing that this justice card is about. We can't just keep going through the world making choices and sometimes acting as who we are and sometimes bypassing a little bit. You're being asked to really get back into that personal development, introspective, kind of fine tuning who you are and your values and how you show up in the world. And why is this so important right now, you might ask? Because this final card is the Fool. This is what this 1 year has been all about, stepping out into a totally new chapter of our lives. Now, this could be, for example, because a project ends or a job ends and we need to start something new. But this can also be an internal, my personal life path feeling here. So it could be that you're just recognizing, okay, I've been showing up out of fear or jealousy or challenged emotions. I need to really work on that, get clear about myself, my values, who I am, so that I can step forward into this updated version of myself or this next segment of my path. The Fool card is really exciting here. It doesn't mean that it's a sad new beginning, although, some new beginnings have mixed emotions. It's the kind of beginning where we don't always feel ready to begin, but we are fully supported by our own soul, by our team of guides, and really being encouraged to know who you are and step out in a new way and take accountability for your choices. Own those choices, challenging, positive, whether your choice makes you win the lottery or kind of lose the farm. Stand behind your choices, 10 toes on business, right? And how are you going to start this next phase? Are you going to start it with recognizing all the things you've learned and maybe the places you've stumbled before, but your resilience and your ability to overcome? Or are you going to start in a hesitant, kind of dragging your feet, kicking and screaming kind of way? Even that choice is up to you. Even when we're stepping into a choice that's maybe not like our favorite thing that could show up on our bingo card, know who you are and how you want to step into that energy and be responsible for your choices, how you show up, the emotions you're bringing and the energy you're bringing to any situation, because that's what's going to set you in the right direction and the most aligned direction on your path. And also remember, even if there's things in your past that you're reevaluating, whether that's 10 years ago past or 2 days ago past, just know that you have the power and the ability to make another choice. This sword and this justice card is all about your choices, aligned choices, and taking accountability and standing behind your choices. So even if you've made some funky choices in the past, it doesn't mean that you can't make more aligned choices today, even in the same situation, even in the same conversation, taking accountability and saying, hey, I was really lit up yesterday. I had some strong emotions about what we were talking about. I want to just recognize that. And I'd like to revisit this conversation in a grounded, calm way. Let me know when you're available for that. I have some thoughts, right? So just as simple as that, as owning our choices, verbalizing in a kind, compassionate way. Doesn't mean we don't have boundaries, doesn't mean we don't have our own opinions, but I want you to be able to step out into, we're almost in the final little stretch of the year here as we're coming towards the end of August, right? We're in Q3. So how do you want the rest of this year to play out? And just know that you are also setting up the energy for the next year, the next cycle. So let me know what's showing up for you as ways that you can take accountability or things that you're excited about potentially stepping into around the corner. I would love it if you would like or subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to this. And if you'd like to learn about getting a private reading with me to look at your own concerns in life or to communicate with a loved one that's already crossed over, you can find that on my website, joyfulmedium.com, on the Work With Me section. Everything's listed there, pricing, scheduling, all the things. I'd love to work with you privately. Big hugs, lots of love. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you Monday for another episode of Spirit Speakeasy. Bye for now.